Guys, I know. But you know when you're watching Netflix and that little message pops up saying, "Are you still watching?" I feel like YouTube should have sent me one of those because apparently I blinked and a few weeks have disappeared. But I'm back and armed with cleaning goodness, so sit back and join me. So, if you've been wondering where I've been, firstly, thank you. And secondly, no, I've not been abducted or fallen into a pile of laundry. I just needed some time to sort myself out. And honestly, it's probably one of the best things I've done in such a long time. Not because anything dramatic happened or because I was thinking of quitting or anything. I just got to a point where I realized I wasn't feeling like myself anymore. And you probably felt it in the last few videos that I put out. Like I just was struggling to show up as my best self. And for somebody who spends a lot of time talking to the camera and sharing bits of their life online, it's quite difficult to show up when you feel disconnected from yourself. So today's video is basically a catch up with you guys about where I've been, what's been going on, what's helped whilst I clean this cesspit. Now, one of the biggest things that's happened over the last few weeks, well, I say last few months, but I basically ramped it up, is therapy. Now, before anybody clicks off and rolls their eyes, no, it's not me sitting here pretending like everything's magically fixed because I went to therapy. That's not how it works. Life still happens, relationships still take work, parenting is parenting. If you know, you know, it's just chaotic. And my children are still fully committed to leaving a trail of destruction behind them wherever they go. But honestly, like it's massively helped. I suppose I should give a little bit of an introduction to myself for people that haven't seen or heard me before. My name's Candice. I am a mother to three children and a dog mum. I also work part time as a communications specialist, and I also have a side business in balloon artistry. So I'm spinning a lot of plates generally. I'm also dealing with postpartum depression. My son is now 14 months, my youngest. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. And to top, well, it's not even the icing on the cake because there's much more than this. But my niece passed away in January of this year. She was 20 years old and I was quite close to her. Um, but before that even happened, my other half and I, we were struggling relationally. So, you know, although I'm dealing with a lot of things, life still goes on. And I was really quite struggling with that. Now, I know therapy can be a bit of a loaded topic. People hear couples therapy and immediately think that your relationship is hanging on by a thread. And I suppose in some ways it was. But honestly, for us, it's been one of the healthiest things that we've ever done. Now, don't get me wrong, in the 12 years that we've been together, we have been to therapy. Well, this will be our third therapist. We went when my middle child, my daughter, was about 2, because we were dealing with a lot. And I mean, that was okay. He gave us a few tools that we tried to implement, and some food for thought, I guess. But he wasn't the best, if I'm honest. We had about 10 sessions with him. And then back end of last year, we had a couple of months with another therapist, and we decided to end that contract, I guess, because he just wasn't the right therapist for us. And I'd say all this to say the therapist that you choose is important. You need to find one that works for the both of you so you can really get the most out of the therapy and open up, which my partner has struggled in the past to articulate his thoughts and his feelings. But yeah, we've learned more about how each other communicates in the last few months than we have in years. Um, and what I've realized is that communication isn't actually the hard part. It's understanding what the other person is trying to communicate, because you can both be speaking and both be explaining and both be convinced that you're being perfectly clear, and somehow either still walk away having heard something completely different, or don't even manage to walk away because it turns into a massive argument. And the biggest thing therapy has given us is tools to slow down, tools to listen, tools to interpret correctly what the other person is trying to say. And when you catch that the other person isn't listening or understanding what you're saying, to put a pin in it, stop it there and address it, rather than going down the rabbit hole of, it spiraling into an argument. Because that's what you do, isn't it? You immediately jump into defense mode. So having those tools help us communicate much more clearly, much more efficiently, just much better overall. But I will say that it only works when both people are willing to do the work. You can't drag someone into a room and expect miracles. You can't sit there with your arms folded waiting for the therapist to announce that you're right and your partner's wrong. That is also not how it works, which I have to admit, I did go into therapy the first time wanting to be validated by the therapist that I'm right and he's wrong. But I think that's a normal thing. But yeah, both people have to be willing to be uncomfortable and say the uncomfortable things, as well as both wanting to genuinely improve things. And that's where the change happens. I do hate, though, that finding the right therapist is sort of like dating. Like 12 years into my relationship, I'm not prepared to be feeling those sort of feelings again. And what I mean by that is, not every therapist is going to be your person, and that's okay. But having to cut ties with a therapist, I find that quite difficult to do. Um, yeah, it was just very weird. But you need to find someone that you both feel comfortable with and that understands your dynamic. And that also takes time. You sometimes you don't realize that it's not, or they are not the right therapist for you until you're quote unquote 3 dates in. So I think part of the reason why a lot of people give up, because they don't find the right therapist, don't realize that it's the therapist that is not the right fit, that's the problem, and assume that therapy itself isn't working. Sometimes it's not therapy. Sometimes it's just not the right fit. And eventually we got there with the right person, albeit our therapist lives in Spain. So we've had to, we're not doing face to face, we're doing online. But yeah, we've had to go out the country to find someone that works for us. Did I say Spain? No, sorry, I meant Turkey. He lives in Turkey. But yeah, we actually really get on with our therapist, so much so that we've had some individual sessions with him as well, which, if I'm honest, was probably a bit more nerve wracking than going in with my other half, because even though, we've had issues, he's still my person. So we have each other's back and we support one another. So having individual sessions, I no longer have my safety blanket. Um, yeah, so that was the first session that I had with him. Was a bit awkward, not gonna lie, but beneficial. I mean, he helped me to navigate my, or some of my grief and some of the low mood that I've been carrying around for quite some time now. I mean, grief is a funny thing. Well, not funny, just strange, because it doesn't move in a straight line. You don't wake up one day and think, right, that's done now. the grief, tick, gone. You can be absolutely fine 1 minute and then hear a song that reminds you of the person, or a photo, a familiar smell, and you're right back there again. And I think for a long time I've been trying to outrun certain feelings, as you probably well know, staying productive, trying to stay busy, which isn't hard in my house. The kids have me running around in circles. But I'm just there, like, convincing myself that I was okay and I was quote unquote better. When actually, what I needed was to acknowledge some of the things are still really hard, and that's okay. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes you just want somebody to help you untangle what's going on in your head. Now, therapy aside, another huge reason why I've been absent, half term. For those in the UK, you know, our half term was glorious. It was a week ago now, and we don't get sun. Or for example, today I asked Alexa what the weather was going to be like today, and she said, "Oh, sorry, I said her name, and she woke up." She told me it was going to be thunderstorms with sun and 18 degrees Celsius. Like, how do you dress for that? What the heck? So the kids went to school in like raincoats and shorts or skirt, um, and a hoodie. Yeah, it's just a bit of a weird one. But yeah, the sun was shining, the weather was sweet. To the rescue. Who remembers that song? What's his name? Here I am. Anyway, yeah, the weather was glorious, and we just spent the whole time outside pretty much. We were doing park runs. We went to the seaside on bank holiday, which was a faux pas of mine, because what was I even thinking? It was absolutely rammed, and we ended up being delayed getting home by like an hour and 40 minutes, because everybody was obviously trying to get home at a decent time. But yeah, nonetheless, it was just so nice to decompress and spend some time with my kids and just breathe. But yeah, that's another reason why I was away. For those in the UK, what did you guys get up to? I don't think anywhere else has the same sort of holiday time periods as we do. But yeah, what did you get up to during half term? Mind you, I did work for 3 days, but that just means that I had 5 solid days of frolicking around with the kids, which was nice. And I guess the beauty of outside frolicking means that once I clean and tidy my house, it will stay like that because nobody is indoors. I did actually get outside and do bits and bobs in the garden, which I've wanted to do for a while. And I got the bouncy castle out for the kids, and I have yet to clean the hot tub, but yeah, you know how it is. The list never finishes. Things always add on as you tick things off, things go on top. So yeah. Now, guys, hear me when I say, like, I love creating content and talking to you guys, and even editing the videos. I like doing that. Voiceover is not so much. Like, sitting down to do a voiceover, it's not the voiceover itself, me talking to you guys, because I love doing that. It's the finding the pocket of time where I will not be interrupted to actually record it. But I say all that to say it was quite nice. No pressure of rushing to get content filmed, worrying about editing, scheduling, or posting, scheduling. It was just living my life, I guess. And I suppose because I make cleaning videos, I have to be indoors filming the content. Whereas if I was vlogging my day-to-day activities, my life, I guess you could just whip out the camera and do that at any point. I do keep saying that I'm going to try and start doing some vlog style out and about footage vlog things. But I don't know, I'm just a bit nervous, guys. I don't know. I just feel like it can be, or maybe I can be a bit boring, but maybe that's something I need to take up with my therapist to work through what's the blocker there. Who knows? In other news, though, I went out for my niece's 18th birthday at the weekend, which was emotional for many reasons. One, how is my baby 18? She's 18. Like, I just can't wrap my head around that. My niece, which is basically my other niece that passed away, that's her sister, basically. So it was quite a sad and happy day, um, celebrating something that Rihanna should have been there for, and she just wasn't. But yeah, seeing her hit such a milestone was emotional, and just the incredible human being that she's becoming, feeling proud, feeling old, mostly feeling old, because I just don't know how that's happened already. Like, I genuinely don't understand where the years go. But, we celebrated, we had a lovely time, we all got together, something intimate at their local pub, bar, whatever. We had lots of laughs, lots of cake. And then, if that wasn't enough, because I was absolutely drained by that, the next day, and I mean day, I went to Trevor Nelson's day party, which was lovely, spending time with my friends in the daytime, because believe me, I am too old for the clubs and all of that stuff. Give me daytime frolicking any day over the nighttime frolics, honestly. But if that's one thing that I've been taught, is that my body has won the battle. Like, I surrender. I'm no longer that girl. I used to be a party girl, and I mean many years ago. I was the one like, yeah, call Candice. She'll be up for it. She's down. But no, 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 no. Consecutive nights out? Absolutely not. Who do I think I am? Like, at one point in my 20s, I genuinely believed sleep was optional. I could go out till 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, go home, shower, get to work. By the time work is finished, I'm ready again. I can go again. I don't need to sleep. I'm out now. I'm up. That sleep has passed. Let's keep partying. Now, if I get home after 11 p.m., I need 3 to 5 working days recovery. Like, the event itself was brilliant, amazing atmosphere, great people, great music, great vibes. But by the end of it, I just felt like somebody had unplugged my battery pack. I was finished, tired, my social battery, my energy battery, like, gone. And I guess the funny part is, it doesn't even have to be alcohol related. I'm recovering from being around people. Just the day starts at 100% and it drops to 4 by lunchtime. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. All jokes aside, taking this break has taught me something important, really. Like, I need to just rest sometimes. And that's not me being lazy. That's not me taking care of myself and being lazy and selfish or any of those things. Stepping back when I need to doesn't mean that I'm failing. Sometimes it's just what I need in order to be the best self. Like, for a long time, I felt guilty for slowing down, guilty for not producing anything, guilty for like not doing more. But reality is that consistently running on empty doesn't help me. It doesn't help my kids. It doesn't help my other half. It doesn't help this channel. Like, nobody benefits from me being burnt out. And I think these last few weeks have reminded me that it's okay to prioritize my mental health. I have to prioritize my mental health. It's okay for me to ask for help if I need it. And if I'm struggling, it's okay to admit that. It's okay to take a break. Candice, slow down, take a break. And then you can come back when you're ready. Like nothing's going to change. Everyone's still going to be here. Well, my followers might not be here. I would like to think that they will, but it is what it is. So that's where I've been. A little bit of therapy, a lot of family time, a little bit of healing, a lot of sunshine, and sprinkles of celebrations. And one very clear reminder that I am no longer built for back-to-back social events. So if you've made it this far, I thank you for sticking around while I took a step back for me. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you, all 136 of you. If you've been going through it like me with your own stuff recently, I hope that this video reminds you that it's okay to take care of yourself. You have to put yourself first before you can attend to anyone else. It's like that airplane life jacket situation. You put your life jacket and mask on before you help others. And it just makes so much sense to me, especially now. Anyway, lovelies, that's enough of me putting the world to rights while I clean and organise my mess. I'm sorry that I haven't talked about what I've been doing, but you saw it. You know the coup. You know how it is. I just wanted to make space to be honest about where I've been, because life isn't always perfectly curated. And sometimes the best thing you can do is take a step away and get the support that you need. I genuinely feel lighter than I have in a long time. And yeah, I'm happy to not carry everything on my own as I have been doing. So again, if you've been feeling a bit overwhelmed, a bit burnt out, stuck, or just not quite yourself, again, I hope it reminds you that it's okay to slow down and to ask for help. The cleaning videos, the resets, the chaos, the real life mum content, it's all coming. But for now, I'm just happy to be back. So let me know in the comments, what's one thing that you've done recently that's genuinely helped you in your mental health? And you need to be honest. Also, how many days do you need to recover from a night out these days? Because I need to know that I'm not alone. I probably am alone, but yeah, it'll be nice to know. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe if you're able to. It costs nothing and it helps out my channel and gives me that little bit of motion to keep going. Motivation. You know what I mean. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I love you all very much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.